Now to some more breaking news here locally. We're working to get the name of a driver killed in an overnight crash out of Spartanburg County. I want to take you back to that scene earlier this morning. This is on Lewis Chapel Road. We received a tip about this and immediately sent a crew out to the scene. Troopers say the driver went off the road and hit a tree. Sadly, they died on scene. We're waiting to hear back from the coroner to get the name. We're also following a crash out of Greenville County as troopers sent us information just after 5 this morning. We listened to their report and learned it happened on Augusta Road overnight. Now, we first got a tip about the scene overnight as troopers say the driver went off the road and hit the tree. They were taken to the hospital where they died. There was a passenger in the car. We know the 17-year-old was hurt and also taken to the hospital. We're working to see how they're doing this morning and waiting to learn the name of that driver.
In an overnight development, we are working to learn the name of a passenger killed in a late-night crash. This happened along Piedmont Golf Course Road. We reached out to Highway Patrol for more details about the crash. They tell us that the car ran off the road, then struck a tree, and sadly, the passenger died on scene. The driver was also hurt and rushed to the hospital, but we're not sure about their condition this morning. Once we learn the victim's name, we'll be sure to update you on air and online at foxcarolina.com. Over in Greenville County, 2 people are safe this morning after they escaped a house fire. We were on scene last night as the fire department worked to contain the flames here on Beach Springs Road in Pelzer. There's no word on how the fire started or how much damage was done.
Now to a news alert. We could soon know how much time former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin will serve as his sentencing hearing gets underway in a matter of hours. And this morning, we're looking into what factors will go into making that decision. Chauvin was convicted April 20th on all 3 counts for the death of George Floyd. He faces up to 40 years in prison. However, there are several factors to consider, including the Minnesota sentencing guidelines and a May ruling that found aggravating factors in Floyd's killing, which allow the judge to go beyond the state's sentencing guidelines. Now, the prosecution is asking for 30 years while Chauvin's attorneys are seeking probation, but several legal experts predicting a sentence of 20 to 25 years. During the hearing, some of Floyd's family members will make victim impact statements. Chauvin also has the right to make a statement to the court if he wishes. 8:08, let's turn things over to Kylee.
In today's big weather story, severe weather possible in the middle of the country. We are live over St. Charles, Missouri, an area under an elevated risk for strong to severe storms. If you have friends or family in this part of the country, make sure to check in on them. Anywhere from Texas extending back into Missouri, that is where we have that elevated severe threat for today. This yellow color, that is a slight risk, a category 2 out of 5. On the outskirts of that, a marginal risk. Eventually, some of this rain will be coming to us with the storm potential. More on that in just a few minutes. Margaret Ann.
President Biden will meet with Afghan leaders today as he pushes for peace talks. Details on their meeting next. Grace.
Big changes are coming to South Carolina's unemployment benefits. We'll tell you why you might be getting less money coming up and also what other programs are available to help.
Spartanburg County has gotten busy in the last few minutes. I have 3 accidents in that area. I'll detail all of them in just a minute.
And we're taking a look at yesterday's winning lottery numbers, starting with your midday. Pick 3, 751. Pick 4 is 1775. Fireball of 3 for both. Your evening winning numbers. Pick 3, 038. Pick 4, 6383. And your fireball is 5 for both of those. And your cash 5 is 4, 8, 22, 30, 38. And your multiplier is 3. Taking a live look over Clemson with plenty of sunshine on this Friday. TGIF, the Morning News. We'll be right back.
Para allá para que se vea la Story goes. Baby, now I got the flow, 'cause I know it from the start. Baby, when you broke my heart, that I had to come again and show you that I'd win. You lied to me. All those times I said that I love you, you lied to me. Yes, I tried, yes, I tried. You lied to me. Even though you knew I'd die for you, you lied to me. Yes, I cried.
You're watching Fox Carolina, the morning news.
Welcome back. You're taking a live look right now as crews are going on hour 31 cleaning up the wreckage left behind in Miami after a condo building partially collapsed there. 99 people are still unaccounted for at this hour, and just moments ago we saw that they have updated the death toll, which is now up to 4 people who are now dead. So we are continuing to follow the very latest, and we're going to have an update on this coming up in about 15 minutes, starting at the 8:30 hour. Right now, I'm watching the latest coming out of Washington, where President Biden will meet with Afghan leaders at the White House today amid an ongoing U.S. military withdrawal as Afghanistan's future remains in limbo. This comes as U.S.-backed peace talks between the Afghan government and the Taliban have now stalled. Meanwhile, the militant Islamic group has gained new territory at an alarming rate in recent weeks. The Biden administration says it remains committed to working with the Afghan government to ensure the country never again becomes a safe haven for terrorist groups who pose a threat to the U.S. homeland. He also revealed around 650 U.S. troops will remain in Afghanistan after the main American military forces finish their withdrawal. Now, the exit from the Middle Eastern nation will largely be completed within the next 2 weeks. Several hundred additional American forces will also remain at the Kabul airport, possibly until September, to help Turkish troops with security. I'm also following the vice president's schedule as she makes her way to the U.S. southern border. This is video that we want to show you of VP Kamala Harris leaving Joint Base Andrews just a few hours ago. Now, while in El Paso, she's going to tour Customs and Border Patrol Processing Center, hold a conversation with advocates from faith-based organizations as well as shelter and legal service providers, and deliver remarks. The vice president has faced months of criticism from members of both parties for declining to make the trip this far, for her muddied explanations as to why.
Well, we have some new details from Washington this morning. The White House and a bipartisan group of senators have reached a deal on infrastructure. This deal will invest millions of dollars back into American roads. A group of Republican and Democratic senators spent the past few days hammering out how to pay for the bill and the focus for the bill's spending. President Biden says that it's the largest investment in infrastructure in American history, including the largest investment in rail since the creation of Amtrak. Well, we've looked over the proposed deal, and we're going in depth on what we know so far about the potential infrastructure bill. The bill totals $1.2 trillion of spending on infrastructure. Now, this spending will happen over the course of 8 years, but there won't be any new gas taxes to worry about. The bill is focused on funding new public transit, as well as establishing more jobs in clean energy.
Fox Carolina is committed to you, so we want to alert everyone to a major change to unemployment benefits. All federal pandemic unemployment benefits end tomorrow for South Carolinians.
Fox Carolina's Grace Runkle is live at McAllister Square. Grace, how is this going to impact payments?
Well, you know, it's going to have a big impact. We've seen people getting payments of $600 a week at times during the pandemic for their unemployment claims, but now it's going to drop back down to that average we saw before the pandemic, and that's just over about $200. We know a lot of people are still struggling. The good news is there are still programs available to help. One of them is called SC Stays Plus. We've got it pulled up right here. They just reopened the applications, and this is going to make a big difference for people who have late utility bills, or maybe they've been struggling to pay rent. If you apply and you qualify, then you could get help with up to a year of housing costs. Now, the program helps people pay rent or utility bills that are late, and you can date them back as far as last March. There are several qualifications, but the big one is household income must be at or below 80% of the area median. Now, we do want to add that renters in Greenville, Spartanburg, and Anderson counties cannot apply for this state level aid. That's because they have programs similar to this at the county levels in those places. So if you want some more information on those programs, we have that as well as the state program in our Fox Carolina News app. So you can head there for more details. But we also have more details on another program that's going to help you if you are having some trouble buying groceries for the rest of the summer. So stay tuned for that. Kylie?
Fox Carolina weather. Weather Rate certified most accurate local forecast.
Thanks, Grace. Looking forward to that next report. Well, temperatures outside right now, really not too bad. You saw Grace out there. She's just in a short sleeve dress, and we have temperatures that are very comfortable right now in the 60s. Some of us still in the 50s like Hendersonville, but the rest of us now starting to climb well into the 60s, and we're going to be jumping into the 80s this afternoon. The good news is the humidity for today is going to be lower, and we're going to have a good amount of sunshine, especially for the second half of the day. This morning, still a few more clouds out there, a few spotty showers in western North Carolina, not out of the question, but the majority of us staying dry, and we're looking at temperatures in the upper 70s. Now it's going to be cool and slightly muggy for today, but we're going to be cranking up the heat and the humidity starting this weekend. So today, out of these next 3 days are going to be better today for the beach, the pool, the lake, whatever it may be, just doing some yard work outdoors, as we're looking at partly cloudy sky conditions and temperatures a little bit cooler in the 70s to the lower and middle 80s. Now, Fox Radar 3D showing us one disturbance that's out of the southeast, another one that's to our north and west. We're sandwiched in the middle, so for today, it's just going to be some cooler conditions, quiet weather conditions at that. But things all are going to change coming this weekend, and here is exactly how on Futurecast. So today it's just going to be a nice day in the upstate. A few showers will be possible for the mountains, but that's just going to be a very isolated chance. Friday night plans tonight looking fantastic, so maybe you want to have a bonfire, or maybe you're planning on going out on the town. Well, tonight looks great. By tomorrow, though, cloud cover will increase, giving us a chance for some isolated rain showers in the morning, becoming a little bit more scattered by the afternoon and towards dinner time. That's a look at 6 p.m. on Saturday. And then we have the greatest chance of rain for the weekend on Sunday. So if you have any outdoor plans on Sunday, you might want to switch them to Saturday. Otherwise, just carry the umbrella with you, because we're going to be dodging those rain showers throughout the day and the chance for a few developing storms too. So putting everything together in your 7-day forecast, temperatures will be cooler for today and the weekend in the middle 80s. Average for this time of year is 89 degrees, and we're going to be flirting with that towards the end of next week with more rain and storms in the forecast. For the mountains, average is 84. We're going to be below that for these next several days, but still the humidity is going to be back this weekend, lasting throughout next week.